Morning, good morning, good morning. Shout out to all my early birds, Sunday morning and all that. I see everybody coming into the chat. I appreciate y'all. I don't be the only one that's up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. That's good to see because when I have days like this where I'm on real early and we getting off some of these topics and we getting in our sorry is true bag, or we doing predictions, or we doing recaps, or we addressing stuff, whatever the case may be. I know I'm gonna have a good amount of folks in here with me. So shout out to everybody and what they got going on this early on a Sunday. What time is it? It's like 4:30. It's like 4:30 a.m. So I'm sure some of y'all is laying in bed, chilling, whatever. Like fuck it, I'm on YouTube. Some of y'all, I see Shot X says it's 7 p.m. in Australia. Okay. Oh, I keep remember. I gotta remember that. Like I've been doing this YouTube thing forever. We've had RBE for 10 years. Max Out 3 marked our 10-year anniversary as a platform. But I've been in battle rap, actually working and being a part of the culture, not just a fan, for like 12 to 13 years. And as long as I've been here, I still allow myself to forget, like, yo, there's people in different time zones. This channel has subscribers around the world. There's people where it's nighttime for them. There's people where it's afternoon for them. There's people where it's morning time for them. So I'm tripping. I'm tripping. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, some of y'all are up. Some of y'all are running around. Some of y'all are working. Some of y'all are on lunch break. 4:40 in Ohio. I see Ghost 30. You know what I mean? I got to remember that. I don't know. I'm tripping. I'm tripping when I say that. But at the same time, I do know RBE's YouTube analytics. And because over the years, we've released a majority of our content within the Eastern time zone, battle releases, trailers, announcements, blogs, all that type of stuff for 10 years plus, um, your YouTube channel starts to develop a certain analytic where it can show you like these people in this region, which is a majority East Coast for our channel, are tuning in within this time range. I suggest all people that run YouTube channels to check that out because I actually taught that to Jims a couple months ago. It's like go on your channel and look at these analytics. Yeah, I mean, like people they gloss over that. Like YouTube will continue to collect the data and it'll show you this is the hot time of your channel. This is when the most people, most of your subscribers or most viewers are on your channel watching content. You know what I mean? So our channel is definitely like later on in the day, Eastern time zone. But it's good to see for me, Eastern time zone, 4:30 in the morning. There's people up in here rocking. So before we get into the title, I do want to ask y'all real quick, how was y'all Saturday? How things go for y'all yesterday? Anything that I need to pin up from the chat? I see 1041 in Africa. See, that's what I'm saying. We got people around the world tuning into the channel. So I gotta always remind myself of that, regardless of our analytics. Shout out to Trade Love 937 all the way from Africa, tuned in right now to the RBE channel. I appreciate you, homie. Trainwreck says I was in the building. All right, so you was at Nostalgia last night. Cool. So you're definitely gonna get some of my feedback here. I'm gonna be talking about the battles. I'm gonna be talking about the event overall. I'm gonna be talking about some of the good, the bad. When I'm in Sorry is True podcast mode, I remove a lot of the politically correct way of speaking. Y'all know me. I'm always a respectful person. I'm always respectful to my peers. There are people that I don't give two shits about, and I possibly at times say extra or not extra, but say more than I would normally say about people because I'm just like I'm not trying to uphold their character or nothing like that. I don't care about them. I care just about them as they care about me. So when it's my turn to be on here and speak what I want to say, I'm gonna say it. There's other people I really rock with, and I still got to be 100% honest towards them. You know what I'm saying? I'm running RBE for 10 years. You know what type of skin you got to develop? The type of skin that still got me out there on the front lines, fucking going off and shit because Like we all get criticized. We all go through the fire. We all go through the ups and downs. You know what I'm saying? So, and nobody is exempt from feedback, criticism. None of us, not me, nobody. Shout out to the members in the building. I see y'all. I see members. I see members. I see members. I see members in the building. Shout out to C Breezy 201 ARP. One question I need to know about you, Nas or Hove. That's never been a easy question for anybody, especially me, a New Yorker. But I do have a decision there. I take Jay overall. Um, Artistry, I feel like he's more broad than Nas. Um, he's delivered just when catalog wise, Jay has an undeniable catalog. Nas does too. But overall, career wise, Jay-Z is past everybody. Jay-Z is our GOAT. If you have to pick one, it's Jay-Z. When you encompass everything, the actual numbers, the sales, the lyricism, the artistry, the innovation, the ways that he changed the game, his longevity, his business outside of rap, record labels and sports, getting into sports, club ownership, liquors, and watch endorsements, and a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? Nas can't say a lot of those things. There was a time when I know that when they sat together after the takeover and Ether shit, they painted it over well by when Jay-Z, I think they were sitting there with Sway, and Jay was like, well, you don't hire a Nas, you partner with him. That was a real nice way of saying you work for me now. Because at the end of the day, the deal is still constructed, to my knowledge, of it was Jay-Z's situation and Nas came into it. Right. So I'm not trying to say that that's a Jay-Z winning the war type of thing. We're not talking about Ether versus fucking Takeover, right? Like we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We all know what happened there. For all pun intended, shit got super ugly. A lot of us was like, "That's how Jay responded, super ugly." All right, the shot you got the super personal in there with his girl, his baby moms, and all that, but he just dropped Ether. That's your response? Germany, July. ARP gonna give you political answers. All right, so here's the thing about that. Let me tell you a little bit more about myself for people that haven't read me over the last 10 years. My personality, my character is more respectful. I call people sir and shit. My age and under, it doesn't matter, or older. I'm very, very formal. I'm very selective with my words at times. So they say politicians can choose their words correctly, right? I'm less reckless when I speak. If I totally just allow my speech to fly, then I'm out of control, right? I'm rarely out of control. Rarely, rarely. We're human. We have our moments where it's just like, oh, fuck that, blah, blah, blah. And you just getting off your chest how you feel, but I'm always honest, whether I'm flying off the hinge or whether I'm under control, right? So, not all politicians are certified liars. You know what I'm saying? Some of them are just good at delivering a message, which is what puts them in those positions. I think I'm good at speaking my points, right? That's just how I've been. And we developed terminology of saying that when this person speaks, if they address something, if they're not, you know, burning it down to the ground, if they don't got their knife out and slashing shit, they're being politically correct. That's just terminology. But sometimes the messenger actually speaks like that. Sometimes they're more controlled with their word selection in general, right? It's not like you guys see me in opposite for 10 years. I get on camera and I'm screaming and I'm going haywire every time I'm on camera. And then when I decide to talk about a friend of mine's card, like let's say, for example, all of a sudden I sound like this. No, it's the opposite. All the time I sound like this. And if I fly off the fucking ringer, those are times that's less uncharacteristic of ARP as per y'all perception of me, because that's how y'all see me, right? So a political answer actually would be fitting of the personality that you guys know of me for 10, 11, 12 plus years. I said sarcastically many times, but with the truth and jest, if this wasn't the real me, then I'd probably be in Hollywood somewhere, because keeping up a 12-year act is impossible. Shout out to the members in the building. Shout out to the members in the building. Appreciate all the supers and all that. Y'all appreciate you, James King. All right, let's jump into nostalgia. So shout out to Eazy the Block Captain, Gutter City, Trenches, and all that for the nostalgia event. It went down last night. The venue, visually, I was on the live pay-per-view. First and foremost, I will say $40 well spent. Definitely $40 well spent. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 battles, and I believe all went down. And even if you only got the 5 for a battle rap event for $40 in today's economy, 2023, we're not all the way back in the 80s or the 90s. We can walk into a store and get a bag of chips for fucking 15 cents or 25 cents. You know what I'm saying? Like today's world is not cheap. Look at what we pay for gas and all that type of shit. $40, what it takes to put these events together. You get Hollow Man's return. You get Head Ice. You get Reed Dallas. You get P. You get Rosenberg Roy. You get Mike P. K Walker, Show Off, KaBoom, Quitty. I don't know those last 2 guys like I spoke about before, but you get that type of talent that performs. They put unique material together for you. They have to fly in or travel in or drive in. That still costs money, even if they're driving close enough. Hotels, 1 night, 2 nights. You got Ruin Your Day production. You got venues. You got security guards. You got some, depending on your deal, you got bar tabs. You got all of this shit. You know what I mean? That the league has to put together. They promote it. You know, this flyer up on the screen possibly costs money. You know, everything that comes together to put together an event, and for the end consumer, it costs $40. I say all the time, you guys get anywhere from like a 5 to a 10-hour show, just a condensed look at all the work over a month and a half, 2 months, right? Meanwhile, behind the scenes, the battlers and the league and everything is literally working for like 2 months straight just to produce that 8-hour window piece of product for you, you know, and it cost us $40. So $40 to me is way more than reasonable, you know. So you know, we definitely got our money's worth last night. The venue looks like the same. It looked like the same venue where Eazy versus Reed was, which from the sound of it, from hearing the crowd and how like some of the audio could be bouncing off the walls. I pay attention to stuff like that. Like there's more of a deeper audio effect or sound in a room if it's a big room. You know, when things are condensed like that, also you see people kind of like they're standing on top of each other a little bit. That seems like a gritty, smaller room setting. And also another thing that you pick up on, there's no microphones. They're not mic'd up. You know what I'm saying? Even the host is not using a microphone. Easy to block, right? So if he's able to, you know, kick off the battles and say, you know, it's your boy Easy to Block. We hear the trenches. Everybody make some noise. And he's just speaking regularly. He's not even screaming, and the whole crowd can hear him. And they say, "Oh, make some noise." And it's obviously a smaller room, right? And that location seems to be one that Eazy's using, and obviously it's working out so far, especially when you pair that with Ruin Your Day production, right? So shout out to the choice once again of venue, and it feels like the trenches. It feels gutter. You know what I'm saying? So that's dope. Let's get into the battles, right? And I might spear off into a couple topics as I talk about the battles. I was a little late to the stream. I had just got home from running around. I was like running errands, and I spent like 4 or 5 hours shopping, as I said yesterday on my stream. I had a great time too. Found a lot of shit. By the time I got on the stream, it was KaBoom's 3rd round. So I missed the LE, or no, not the LE, the Lee ND versus Muap battle. I think I did hear somebody, by the time I had it playing, I was still moving around for a second, I had it playing in my ears on a Bluetooth. I heard one of them come on the commentary, and I think mentioned something about, maybe it came on a little bit later, mentioned something like, I'm just mad that, you know, the crowd did that nut shit or something like that. So I'm gonna assume that there was a clear winner and a clear loser in that battle based on, I think, one of the battlers speaking on the commentary. But I didn't see it, so I'll leave it there. I came on during the third round of KaBoom versus Quitty. I'm mad I didn't get to see any Quitty rapping because I think KaBoom went last. Um, but I did hear Quitty saying things in the camera while KaBoom was rapping, like, "Nah, let him go. I already won." Like, so I mean, of course he's gonna say that for himself anyway. So I don't really know if that really has any weight on what happened the first 2 rounds. Y'all gonna have to tell me, or I'm gonna have to watch the battle when it drops, so I could go back and play it on VOD. Um, I'm sure the VOD is up. Uh, the VOD normally be up at the, like, as the battle's complete, and you see, like, I put this in the camera. You see that? I don't lie to y'all. You see, I got my $40 purchase on Rap Grid, and when you scroll, you see the battles. So they're already on VOD. So yes, the Lee IND versus Muwap is there, and so is the KaBoom versus Quitty. So I could play that. I could play that while I'm doing cardio today if I really want to. So we'll see. I'll try to catch up sooner or later. But yeah, it's out, y'all. All the battles is up on VOD. The only criticism that I will have of KaBoom's third round, he sounded like he was doing real good. He sounded like he was doing real good, but his round was a little too long. I don't know the nature of how if KaBoom is consistently doing that. I've watched a bunch of KaBoom stuff, of course, over the years. I watched them even from back in the day, shit. But in this particular battle, that third round that I came in on, it was almost like, it's one thing when you have a round and it's like overkill. It's just like the crowd's like, "Oh my God, leave him alone!" Like, leave him. They start screaming that. You know what I'm saying? In the building when it's like you're up to like minute 4 or minute 5 and you've already landed 50 haymakers and shit, and you're still punishing your fucking your opponent. And it's just like the crowd will start screaming that, like, oh, they'll start screaming shit like 3-0, leave him alone, like, stop, that's enough. Um, there was like towards like almost the second half of his round, it felt like it's like you're losing the energy, and not because the material is bad. It's just because you're getting a little redundant at this point, and his delivery was like so redundant. It was like dun, 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 and you're doing that for like 3-4 minutes. You're not changing your cadence. You're not changing your delivery. You're not really landing any big haymakers. And it gets to the point where you're doing good enough where everybody, you got people's attention and you got their respect, but you're not giving them anything different enough, and you're not giving them any big moments where it's just like now the crowd flattens out and they're just listening. And at that point, that's where it starts to feel, this is human nature. This is how it interprets for me watching the stream. That's when it starts to feel like, all right, like cut the round, like that's it, because we're not really getting much. You know what I'm saying? So that's just a critique right there on KaBoom. You gotta condense your material unless you're that confident that if you got a very, very long round, even towards, like, let's say the 75% complete mark, that you're still bombing. And I know as an artist and as a writer, people probably feel like, oh no, my material is all great, I'm bombing, because they're the ones that wrote it, right? But that within itself is part of getting to a masterful level. There literally are battle rappers that know, like, my second round is a throwaway. You ever hear people talk like that? They know, like, this is not my top-notch writing, or um, this right here is definitely going to land. That's masterful within itself. That's artistry within itself, knowing that shit. You see people choke because they get up to what they think is going to land as a haymaker, and then sometimes there's no reaction, and they don't know how to bridge over it correctly. That awkward silence of that moment of leading up to something, and then they drop it, and there's no reaction that they was kind of anticipating. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to study this art. You really got to study it. So that's my critique on KaBoom. I don't know who won. Um, the commentary uh between as well, I think was saying like uh Philly was up at that point, whether it was from the Muwap battle, Muwap versus Lee battle, or from the Quitty battle. But that's what they were saying in the commentary pretty much. It seemed, and shout out to the commentary. You got, who is that? Johnny Mac up there. You got Qua up there as well. My critique on that, mostly on Qua. Qua, you got to try to come across a little bit more relatable to the masses. You're not only talking to our people, and if you're picking up on what I say and what I'm saying there, is it's like you up there thugging a little bit. Yeah, I mean, and that's cool if that's how you walk around all day. That's how you talk all day. I know you wouldn't talk like that if I put you in the office, though. You know, what I'm saying? Like Smack, for example. Like, see the way Smack talks. Like Smack is, he's not going to sit down with his wife at dinner and talk like that. When he's on Fox with Sue Surf, he's not going to talk like that. If he's in court, he's not talking like that. These are all facts that I'm laying out. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like at times you have to be relatable. You have to expand. I'm not trying to say you got to sound like a politician, talk like this person, talk like that person, or whatever. But if you're up there over thugging, you know what I'm saying? You gotta remember, there's all types of fans on these streams, all types of fans. And the thing about commentary, as it continues to evolve and get better, you have to kind of try to come across. Think of like our pinnacle standards, right? Let's use the NBA. The commentary there is relatable to the masses. You saw earlier, we have people in here from Australia, we have people in here from Africa, we have people around the globe that's on this 4 o'clock in the morning for me stream just to talk about a recap. You have to be relatable to the masses. And this isn't just for Quad, this is for everybody. I think Jay Black does a very good job of that. Jay Black is relatable within this urban market to our people, but at the same time, every stereotype of person, every nationality of person can tune into him, be relatable, or relate to his commentary, relate to his presence, enjoy it. That's one thing that takes us to a higher level, because we don't want to come off in a way where it's not feeling like a sport, right? That's how we continue to raise the bar. So I want to give even credit to like Vada Fly, Showtime SP, and Rosenberg Raw. And this isn't a whole max out three, pat yourself on the back moment. I'm just flowing in the moment, being honest with y'all as always. You know, coming up with things like keys to victory during the stream at Max Out 3. Make it more of a sport. Make everybody comfortable. Make people gravitate into that commentary, right? Qua was coming across like he was on the block shooting dice with his two boys the way he was talking. It was just like, yo, Qua, yo, say like you gotta make sure you understand that there's a stream that you on right now. So that's my only critique on the commentary. But other than that, it's dope to see the leagues now get into or expanding that more and more and more, because we formalize our pay-per-views, and our presentation upgrades and or continues to upgrade, even though there's been commentary for years, even before RBE did it. Like let's be honest, it's not new under the sun. But yeah, shout out to Quad, shout out to Shiny Mac and all that. Let's move to the next one. K Walker versus Show Off. This was y'all battle of the night. This was the best performance from two people on the card. All right. Some of it is they get that early energy, but I don't think it mattered. I don't think it mattered. What these guys came with as far as their their round construction, um, there was some rebuttals in there. I think Show Off had a bunch of rebuttals. Did K Walker have rebuttals? I forget. Um, a lot of energy in this battle, a lot of haymakers on both sides. Um, one thing that I noticed when it comes to the vibe of a back and forth where both people are going crazy, if especially in that environment, because it seemed to be, obviously, I think the location is more Philly. I don't think that event was in New York. I think that's a Philly location or a PA location, I believe. Especially from the people that I see in the building. Like, you know, you see NH there, you see a bunch of Philly people there and all that, you know what I'm saying? He got on commentary. I think that's obviously in PA. If Show Off would have went second, the vibe of this battle could have felt different, being that Show Off is in an away game. Show Off is lucky that he went second, because K Walker was going off, and that happens sometimes. Sometimes there are battles where um that follow-up energy, perception, it's like a human thing, a human nature thing sometimes, is the last thing you heard. That's why people always need to close out their third round good, right? If Show Off was going first at an away game with the type of rounds and energy that K Walker was bringing, we wouldn't be saying that it was a classic or it was a great battle or 2-1 either way. We would just be saying K Walker won. I promise you that's what everybody would be saying. You know what I mean? So that we flip a coin and battlers choose to go first or second. A majority of them, 90% of the time, choose to go second for a reason. because I can leave a lasting impression on the mentality of the viewer. Even if you have a sick round, if I can at least match that, I can kind of make a viewer feel like I'm the one that closed out. I'm the one that, you know what I'm saying? I got the last laugh, the last hit. That's why 90+% of battle rappers choose to go second. You know what I mean? It's a psychology thing, right? So I think in a battle that was this close, where K Walker was having one of his best performances ever that I've seen on cam. Show Off is lucky that he went second in that type of setting in an away game. But when I speak about K Walker, um, my only real critique on K Walker is that he just had to like clean up some of his material. It's just going through it without any like little. Sometimes when you say the word slip, people run with it. So I don't want to use a word that people will run with. Definitely no chokes. Those little blips, those little hiccups, like that. Wait, you know what I'm saying? It's got to clean that up. Clean up. I think that happened a bunch of times in his third too. You know what I mean? Nothing that really, from a content wise or his round wise, that you really take away from what he's doing. Like, he wouldn't win or lose a round based on those little moments. So I'm just trying, for the people that may not have seen it, I'm trying to make sure that I define what he did correctly for y'all. But still, from an artistry standpoint, you got to clean those up. If this battle was like a tournament and there's money on the line and you're being judged, like let's say the King of the Dot tournament, I did judging on that. If you do that in a round and it's that close, I'm going to use that to pick a winner off of. I'm going to say, yo, they both was meeting, and I got to find these little small areas to separate them. And you know what? In the third, Show Off was just cleaner. That happens. That happens. So you got to clean that up, K. But K was having some bombs that he was dropping in his rounds, man. I think his second round probably was the one where it felt like the most, oh wow, like he's just not stopping with. He's having real big punchlines and haymakers that's landing in the building. Um, I got a critique for Eazy to Block right here. None of us hosts are perfect. There's shit that y'all critique me on every fucking event. My turn. um, Eazy. It's a New York versus Philly card, and you're the host, and you represent Philly heavily, right? In that type of situation, if you ever do a part two, you have to find a way to be a little less biased as the host, right? Because when you're jumping in there and you're going crazy on K Walker's haymakers and you're slapping him in the chest and all that shit, oh my, yo, crazy shit, my nigga, and all that. And then Shaw was going, yo, you ain't grabbing his shirt and slapping him in the chest. You giving him his love. You giving him his props. You like, oh, that was dope. That was crazy. But you are obviously, you know what I'm saying, rooting for Philly and Eazy to Block, Captain. You're one of the biggest battle rappers in the game. And you're in the middle and you're hosting, and it's your league, which means that you either was the only person or the primary person that was probably involved in booking Show Off. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make sure that like you have a battle. Like I try to remember to do stuff like that, and the only reason I throw myself in is not to compare myself to other people. Everybody do what they do. It's just I'm able to speak from experience, so I could give y'all examples to make my points a little bit more understandable for anybody that thinks I'm trying to be overcritical. And even if I am, fuck y'all. I say what the fuck I want. I do what I want, and we'll get to that too. But got a battle like Hitman versus Ill Will, for example. um both these guys are like my niggas outside of battle rap. And then I literally don't have a horse in the race. Who we kidding? There are certain battles that we do, and we don't say it, we don't promote it because we shouldn't. But as the battles happen in the back of our minds, we are rooting for certain people at times. Like, damn, I got a 2 battle deal with this person, man. I'm not saying that I did this before. I'm just saying this really happens, right? You know, 2 battle deal with this person, man. I hope you don't fucking lose. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, matter of fact, this did happen. Um, like Averb, like, come on, Averb, like, I fuck with Pat, my guy, but this battle is judged, like, and you got Mook locked in now, coming up next. Um, I don't know. I guess I want you to win it here, dog. Like, but I'm not showing that while I'm hosting. I'm not showing that I got Mook and Verb booked on the very next card. It's already locked in before the outcome of Verb and Pat Stay. That's judged by Champion in the building. Got people like Tech Nine, rest in peace, and Jay Black, and other people that's judging this battle right here live in the venue. And I'm just like this. It's like, come on, Verb, get that nigga Verb, get him. Pat Stay, I'll bring you back in a different situation where it's not judged. Don't worry. Rest in peace, my nigga Pat, man. But yeah, Eazy. You jumping around crazy, slapping niggas in the chest and everything. I'm like, yo, dog. Yeah, I mean, you could sway fans. Like, what you doing here? Yeah, I mean, but didn't matter. Show off was that crazy. And shout out to Show Off, back-to-back weeks, right? Back-to-back weeks, comes off of the Head Ice battle on Max Out 3, gets to 7 days later, does a ridiculous performance, battle of the night performance versus K Walker. If you book Show Off in that situation, you should have never been worried in the first place. That's for any leagues out there. You go back to last year, he did a card on RBE where he battled 2 people in the same day. 2 people, Ish Mullah, who will fuck you up if you come in there slouching, and Jay Breed, who was just on Max Out, who went off versus K Venom. You know what I'm saying? So Show Off is capable of that. He's running around calling this show Timber. If he drops the ball on that, he fucks up his own name. You know what I'm saying? So Show Off showed improved in September. To keep it real, shout out to Show. Damn, if I could only remember some of their haymakers, man. Damn, there was some shit that they were saying. The levels of this battle, though. K Walker, he has a very, very identifiable pattern, right? You're not gonna miss anything that K Walker says. His punchlines, you're not gonna miss anything. And then he has that hometown element of being able to say things that's also relatable to Philly niggas, right? So he's dropping shit in there. That's, the crowd is like, yeah, we here for this. Show Off is definitely a different level of pen and writing than K Walker. But a lot of his stuff is it's still right there for you to grab it. I mean, if you're a battle rap fans are pretty much trained to catch the double, triple, and quadruple meanings and double entendres and all that type of shit. But Show Off's pen is definitely more complex than K Walker. But then K Walker, that's not necessarily saying that's a good or a bad thing, because sometimes being right there in your face is what the fans need, i.e. a big K. You know what I'm saying? A big right there in your fucking face. You know what I mean? Like, if you didn't get it, then you slow. You know what I mean? I'm saying dope shit, clever shit, but I'm right here in your face with what I'm doing. Right. So I'm not gonna take a winner in this battle. I'm gonna say that the fans won. I'm gonna say that this is definitely a 2-1 either way. I only watched it once. Battle of the night. Congratulations to those guys. They definitely did their thing. All right, I'm not gonna go in the order of the flyer because I think it changed in the building. Let's go to Reed Dollars versus Un P. Now, this was a good battle. This was a good battle, and I think both of those guys did what they were supposed to do. If I had to hedge what was important, it was Reed Dollars being one of the top names in Philly, having to hold it down in a Philly versus New York scenario. You lose as one of the leaders of Philly, it's like tenfolded. P, there was a question mark on him. What's he going to sound like? What's he going to look like? You know what I mean? As you know, in today's current era battle rap, right? And off rip, I'll tell y'all this: P won this battle clear. If it wasn't 2-1, clear 2-1, it's possibly a gentleman's. And even it might not even say gentleman's, because sometimes when people say gentleman's, they really mean like all 3 rounds were like kind of edged, right? I think 2 rounds clearly were taken, but it could be clear that all 3 was taken also, because even the 3rd round, Reed was having a maybe his strongest round is 3rd, but he choked. Here's another thing about Reed's 3rd round, and shout out to Reed. I'm just gonna call it how I see it when I'm in Sorry It's True podcast mode, right? Reed's 3rd round sounded similar to his 3rd round versus A Ward. I haven't been online yet. Nobody said this to me or whatever. This is how I just felt watching it. I went to sleep. I woke up. I cut the stream on. Right. So this is no influence from anybody or anything on social media or nothing. I haven't been on social media yet today. His 3rd round. See, as a league owner, And as a fan and as an analyst, that's why people come to me for hosting. I mean, you guys have never seen me host battles because I've always declined offers. I feel like at least twice a month, people are reaching out to me to host their battles, judge their battles, come to their leagues and scout talents. I've always declined respectfully because I've never really been into that. You know what I'm saying? But people realize that I have a very, very good critic and analysis, or analytical viewership into battle rap and battlers. You know what I'm saying? So it's another reason why I'm such a good matchmaker. But I picked up on it. That third round, um, the pace of it was faster. The delivery of it was a little bit different. Um, and he Reed, you did that in the A-Ward battle, and everybody came out with it. It was actually shown that your A-Ward third round came from a mixtape, right? So when I heard that similar delivery and I saw Reed's similar pace, you know what I'm saying? And I'm listening to the content, and I didn't hear anything custom in the content related to P. In my mind, while I was watching the round, I was like, he might be doing what he did with A-Ward again, which is he had 2 solid rounds. And then the third one, whether it's a prep thing, a time thing, a money thing, and he did mention that he did have a bar that said next time that bag got to go up or something like that. So I'm taking occurrences and I'm connecting the dots together again, because I heard Reed say that about Straight 2, and he had a lot going on, like the budget was low, blah, blah, and then he has a bar in this card where he's talking about the bag got to go up next time, right? And then the third round sounds similar as far as delivery, pace, and he happens to choke at the end of the third, and no custom material in it. So Reed, if that's the case, we gotta stop that. You're too important to the culture to do that. You're too much of a leader of not just Philly, but you're one of our pioneers. And I'm not saying that this is not confirmed. I'm just saying I put those dots together when I heard what I heard. It's a little odd, so that's something that stood out to me. But I think overall, Reed had a very solid performance. The choke at the end of the third round, can't do that. We can't have our best and our greatest and our biggest and our pioneers, any of them, choking. Any of our pioneers choke, got to get on them. You can't choke at the end of your third round. Ump, very, very good performance for somebody that we haven't seen on camera battling. Very, very good performance. Ump seemed very comfortable, especially by the time he got to his second and his third round. Um, Dropping haymakers in there. I was able to pick up on some of the transition of his battle rap, I guess, cadence and delivery and structure versus obviously like when we see him like in a cipher. I was able to pick up on that a little bit. And I think he did a real, real good job of making sure that these rounds were battle rap relatable. And they were. He had a lot of direct material. He had a lot of build-ups to good punchlines. I like the one, it's like clear ones that you could walk, because on the spot, it's not easy to remember all these people's bars unless it's something that stands out and is real, real clear. For example, Glock 40 on your bitch ass, right? It's so clear. It's such a standout. We could walk away a week later and remember that. You ever see how these battlers, they be arguing with other battlers and they be like, yo, he's not good. Tell me some of his bars right now. And niggas be stuck. They don't remember. That doesn't mean that the battler sucks. It just means that it's not easy to just pick out things that I remember from what the person did or does, right? But you got certain bars that are just, they're so clear and they're so stand out that even if your memory doesn't just bring to the front of battle rap bars all day long that somebody said last year or last night, right? There's just certain things that's going to be there. Glock 40 on your bitch ass is going to be there. P had one of those, for example. The only way he's holding his chain, he's like, the only way you get him or click him out, take him my link or something like that is if you on my profile or something like that. That shit was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like clicking his link on like his Instagram profile or something like that. And that's like a bar that I walk away from that battle like remembering. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit was dope. Like if anybody else ever says a bar relating to their chain, their link, and their link on their profile, in my mind, I'll be like, oh, P said that back in 2023. that's what I mean about standouts. You know what I'm saying? So that was dope. Pete, for Pete to create moments like that was real good for him. I don't really got too much of a critique for P for the first time we seen him on camera. If I had to force myself, I would just say P needs to just continue to build on his performance. Um, at times he look a little stiff, look a little stiff. That's what kills people sometimes on a big stage, because if you got more room to operate, if you're not in a small, that's the thing about putting a fly on the side. I can't see my. If you're in a small, like little tight pit, right? Everybody's expected to kind of still be stationary a little bit and just deliver their rounds, because you only got like 3 feet to step in every direction, right? Your whole circumference, you only got three steps you could take. And you put yourself on a big stage, you got more room to move around, and you could lose to somebody circling you, like you watch like Eazy versus Hitman and shit. Like Eazy will circle you. He'll walk to your side of the stage. He'll get in show out's face. You know what I'm saying? He'll jump to the front of the stage. He'll get in the turn to the camera. You know what I'm saying? Or a lot of these battlers, a Hitman. Look at Ill Will's performance versus Hitman. Like he know, even in that pit, he knows to turn to the camera at times. So I'm gonna say this to Nick Cannon in the camera. I'm gonna turn back over here. I'm gonna point to the sky for the line about my pops. I'm gonna come back to Mac Myron and say this. And that's part of performance. And I do see that P, he had a little stiffness to him. You know what I mean? And as he continues to, let his shoulders down a little bit and get more into his, moving and acting out his bars and all that, that's going to complement his rounds. And I think he's going to continue to grow as a battle rapper. So he definitely accomplished the mission. He won that possibly 3-0. That was definitely a clear win. Shout out to P on his return. And shout out to Reed. All right, let's go to Hollow Man versus Head Ice. I'll go critique, then I'll go all the good first. My only critique on this battle is that me personally, and I could have just been out the loop, I didn't know this was a one rounder. I did not know this was a one rounder. One critique there is that it's at the top of the flyer. So there's never going to be an expectation for any prestigious league to have 3 rounders, and then when you get to the top of the card, that's the 1 rounder. So if that's going to be a 1 rounder, you got to either bring that to the bottom of the card, or you got to put it on the flyer like in small letters. It says 1 rounder, or you got to make sure that the public is aware. Now that's no knock on Trenches or Eazy or Gutter City. It's very possible that was known. It's very possible that Hollow was promoting that, Head Ice was promoting that, Trenches and Gutter City was promoting that. That's very possible. But that's the actual catch right there. Like if it's not on the flyer, if it's not on the Rap Grid website, what'll happen is people that are not in tune, that maybe didn't catch those blogs, that didn't see that tweet, that's not even on Twitter, like that, or following Eazy or following. Not every battle rap fan that buys a pay-per-view follows Hollow Man and Head Ice, for example. Maybe not even following Eazy, or even if you did, maybe I didn't see that tweet. So the culture has been bit by that in a way where it can cause uproars and a lot of backlash. John had to go through that one time. He had a card, and like the whole card had like crazy names on it. Like Tay Rock versus this person. That's some crazy. This is a big lineup. And then we all get on the stream and found out that it was 1 rounders. So then even like Rap Grid is in a situation, because if they have to like field the refunds and shit, even they're in a situation where they have to like work with a league and tell them like, yo, are these 3 rounders or 1 rounders? We need to actually put that on the fly or whatever, because we can get hit by that too. So that's my only critique on this battle. I did not know it was a 1 rounder. And for all leagues, you just got to be careful of how you market that or how you present it to make sure that people don't get surprised. But battle wise, it was a great battle. Even as a 1 rounder, this was a great battle. Head Ice, he's done 1 rounders before. He did a 1 rounder on King of the Dot. Was that versus Daylight? He did a one. I was there. It was like, I think it was in Oakland or some shit. So Head Ice has done 1 rounders before and given us what we needed to see. And one thing I'll say about Head Ice's his round is, I feel like it was like 8, 9, or 10 minutes long, which is dope, because if it's gonna be a 1 rounder, we want to see Charlie Clips versus X Factor. We want to see Young Ill versus Rex. There's classic one rounders out there. One of my favorite one rounders of all time is Daylight versus Quest McCody. That's a classic. That's a classic. Only a one rounder, but I don't even have to say classic one rounder for that. I just say classic battle. Quest McCody versus Daylight. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. One round. One round. You know what I mean? So we can get great battles out of one rounders. And Ice is another guy. He just went back to back. You know what I'm saying? Coming off of the show off battle last week, and this week pulls up to Philly and delivers. Gives the fans in the building, gives the crowd a good show. You know what I mean? I think I even seen him say that on the commentary. Like, if everybody, just does their job, we're gonna have a goodie in the building. The energy is good, the vibe is good. We just all here to work. We gotta do our job. He's right. That's like OG talk. That's like OG talk because he's been around the block a million times. He's battled a million times. He talk about a Lions Den guy, right? Fast forward all these years, he's still doing it. This is just another day in the office for Ice. So he's right. Like it's a little bit more generalized and broad to me, where it's just like, as long as we give the fans a show, we did what we supposed to do, and everybody be happy. And I was happy after watching this battle. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is. Let's just be honest sometimes. I call spade a spade sometimes, I'd rather say. And my only critique on Ice, yeah, is just a small little blip in there, in like the middle of his round. Similar to K Walker, got to clean that up. You had a blip in the show off round 2, Ice. Got to clean that up. Got to clean that up, Wolf. Clean that up, my nigga. Clean that up. Too professional for that. Got to clean that up. But no, overall, Ice, I've said it before. We can say it again. Nobody says the shit that he says, and not everybody can even say the shit that he says. Like, he has such a unique delivery and bar structure and word pattern that is just like, he said what? If I had to correlate him to like somebody in the industry, at times you might say like Ghostface. Like only Ghostface could say the shit that he says. Pull up in the strawberry Deanie Kiwi seat with the like what? Yeah, I mean, but Ice does that type of shit, but in street talk. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, yo, it's like we laugh at it, but it's classic. Like, I love a home fries. I love a home fries. He's talking shit. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, yo, it's dope. So Ice, typical Ice, that we expect. He helps us get our $40 worth in this scenario right here, 100%. And Hollow Man, how many years they said it was? I didn't even know it was that long since he battled. In the back of my mind, I was like, yeah, he's an OG out there. He's a pioneer out there. But I'm just feeling like, yo, he's battled before, but I probably just ain't see it. I mean, since then, but I probably missed it or something. I didn't know. It's been like 10, 15 years since he battled. That really adds to the title. It's like the nostalgia. That's dope. To get a legend of Phillies back like that. I didn't know it's been that long since he actually battled. Shout out to Hollow Man for coming back. Shout out to Eazy for pulling that off, making that happen. That's dope. You would think that he never missed a beat. You would think he never missed a beat, man. He comes out the gate landing bars, and then of course he's got let's keep it real, he's got the energy of Philly around him and everything, and he's like their OG out there. So, we here to back you, OG. We got you. So you get a little bit of that extra energy, but that's why battlers always talk about, yo, my career was on the road, or when you battled in this city or over here on the road or away from your hometown. This is why it sounded different. That's part of it. If the battlers can complain about it, I can talk about it because it's a real thing, right? But yeah, you was getting some of the love, but you deserved it. You deserved it. Hollow Man's delivery is so dope. You know what I mean? He don't need to scream. He don't need to yell or nothing like that. He just goes down the line in a smooth pattern and leads up to his end point or his final, you know what I'm saying, his hit right there. And more times than less, he's gonna land. Um, yeah. There's an end of the shit that really shows like how much he's revered out there. Like the end of his battle or the end of his round. He says some of his throwback lyrics, and the whole crowd just starts rapping it with him. Nostalgia, right? I think on camera that's gonna be such a dope moment for Hollow as well as for Easy in this league and this platform, because those that's like a moment on your channel that you just never forget. That's a moment on your legacy and in your catalog that's just like, yo, remember when we did that battle? That's part of my catalog forever. Hollow Man, he spit that throwback shit. That's like, imagine if Reed comes back and spits some old DVD shit and the whole crowd says it with him. That's what Hollow did. You know what I'm saying? The whole crowd, and it was his closer. And Hollow got to a point where he just was able to sit in Ice's face and not say a word, and the whole crowd was screaming his bars for him. That was dope. That's one of those moments where you kind of want to be in the building. I ain't gonna lie. That's one of those in-person type of energies where it's just like, oh, that was crazy. You know what I mean? Like, where was you when this happened? I was there, man, in the building, the energy. Because I say all the time, the energy is for a lot of battlers, they know how to translate on footage, on stream, on full edit, YouTube, and all that. But in the building, you can never ever, it'll never equate. It'll never be the same. So I could just imagine being experienced, me knowing that, of if you were there, the impact of that energy in that moment probably felt 10 times heavier than what I was able to see on the stream. So good battle. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm not gonna judge it. Um, but good battle. Once again, we're getting our money's worth right here from the trenches. All right, let's go here. Rosenberg Raw versus Mike P. Before I get to these two battlers, there was something odd that I saw. I thought it was goofy. I thought it was corny. The way Bill Collector was standing there. I don't remember seeing Bill Collector on camera for any other battle. Bill Collector was standing behind Rosenberg Raw. I don't know the full history of Mike P and Bill Collector. I've picked up on some of it. I've seen some of the video. I heard some of the interviews. I know they got to a point where I think some of it might have been over Mike P's wife. Maybe Bill Collector said something about Mike P's wife, or maybe Mike P started it. I don't know. I don't want to put nothing on nobody's jacket. I'm just saying I haven't caught all of it, but I do remember seeing footage of Mike P adamantly requesting Bill Collector for a fade. Just a man-to-man, one-on-one fight. I remember seeing him like damn near begging for a fade. Um, to be fair, I don't know behind the scenes what happened after that. They could have handled it on some grown man shit, shook hands, and said, "Yo, water under the bridge." Um, they could have decided, "Hey, we're gonna have a fade after this." Like, who knows? I don't know all that backstory, but I damn sure don't think that there was a upfront like, "Yo, man, water under the bridge," because of the way Bill Collector was standing there. You know what I'm saying? Bill Collector is normally an animated guy. You know what I'm saying? A little bit more involved and whatnot when you see him at events, I guess, or when I pick up on his body language. He was just standing there as if I don't know if he was trying to intimidate Mike P, or it just comes across corny to me, because Mike P's not from there. Looking at Mike P's background, it almost looks like he's by himself, right? He was begging Bill Collector for a fade, and here he is in your city, miles and miles away from where he's from. And this is the battle that Bill Collector comes on camera, and he's standing there, and it's just like he's standing there with a stoic vibe, almost like he's trying to intimidate Mike P. I just thought that was corny as shit. You know what I'm saying? If it was that type of level, then just don't get on camera standing like that. Just go get a man a fade that he begged for. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was corny. I don't like the look of that footage of Bill standing there like that with a face just. I hate it. 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 It's just lame as shit. And Bill's having a trend of like just being a part of battles at a time where it's goofy. The last time I seen him involve himself in a battle was Eazy versus Hitman. Like, a lot of people cheered during that moment. I don't understand why the crowd cheered. Like, you're coming out to co-sign, getting put through the cement. Right, right, right. Where was he at? Right, right, right. Easy. Why shit? Like, all them niggas right there stomped you into the fucking cement. You come out and coach. Now I know they water under the bridge because they battled, but that's not the time to come out and cheer. You know what I'm saying? That's weird. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I don't know what Bill's up to these days. I mean, this is why I try to stay away from that guy because he does weird shit like that. So I don't like that imagery in the battle. But anyway, Rosenberg Raw versus Mike P, I think closed out the night, and I think I heard talks of it being the main event or moved to the main event. Prior, I think I saw a post like that on Twitter. And good battle. Good battle. Mike P, I know he's got some other things lined up. I think he was announced for King of the Dots Blackout. And that's the thing. That's what people want to see. If you have multiple announcements and promotions happening at the same time, you don't want to lose a battle leading in because there's so much activity happening. These platforms have to find ways to stand out. And the moment you take a hit, you bring down the value of somewhere else, or you can, and you can lose your trust in your scheduling. So like me, for example, the way I work with battlers is you can do whatever the fuck you want. You know what I'm saying? I give battlers a lot of trust. A lot of trust. When Charlie Clips calls me and says, they just called me for jazz, I say, go get your bag. I could shut that down because I already have them on the contracts. I could block that battle, but I don't block battles. So I say, go get your bag. And then I trust them. And then he comes back versus Rosenberg Raw and gives me an amazing performance. You know what I'm saying? A-Ward. I didn't even know about A-Ward's frack battle. That's another battle I could have stopped, right? Minding my business. I mean, A-Ward got a call for that. I guess he didn't tap in with me. I guess. Now, I tell people they don't have to tap in with me, but if you're under a contract of an ongoing promotion, you should tap in business-wise. I didn't hear from A-Ward about that frack battle. I didn't know about that battle. I didn't see some decisions, GTX or nothing like that. And then he clearly lost the frack while I'm promoting our biggest event ever. If it wasn't for A-Verb's promotion, that would have hurt. A-Verb's promotion was so crazy. A-Ward losing a frack a couple weeks before, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? But in this instance right here with Mike P, that's one thing that has to bleed over. Because when you're on this battle rap chessboard, you have to make sure that you're performing, you're thinking, you're doing business, you're networking, you're carrying yourself in a way that thinks for tomorrow. I've said many times on this channel about niggas that hustle for today or yesterday. When you really, really are a true hustler, you're hustling for tomorrow. And for Mike P to come in there, give a real, real good performance, knowing that he's already being promoted for another card, gives the fans confidence to purchase into you on your next performance that's already being promoted, because leagues are just all on top of each other. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Mike P for that. Shout out to Mike P for that. I remember definitely in the third round, he had some angles based on the Clips battle. I think people at times will use that. Of course, it's something that's what battlers do. Battlers are going to research even some of your old battles, but definitely your recent battles. They're going to play them, even if they be fronting. Like, I don't watch you. I never watch you. Blah blah. They watch your shit and they look for angles. They look for things to pick out. They look for mistakes that you made during this battle. You said this. You said this pause-worthy line during this battle, or you lied about this, because now I know the truth. Or they're gonna watch your battles and look for mistakes and look for angles. And he used some of that. And I think some of it was landing in the building, right? But there's a lot of other shit that Mike P was saying that was landing in the building too. Raw, I'm gonna go to straight to his third as well. He had one that landed, that was like crazy. He said something to you instead of like, your wife out here, no, you don't know who to fight. Like, as if she's so active, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'll rewatch the footage. Pardon Mike P if I'm wrong. Pardon if I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure from what I remember, I only watched it once. Mike P first started to shake his head, yes. And then even he started to laugh. Now, with all due respect, Mike P shaking his head, yes, isn't necessarily a cosign to what Rosenberg Roy just said. He's not shaking his head like, yeah, my wife is such and such. No, he could just be shaking his head like, that was a good one. That was a good one. You got me with a good one in here. You got the way you set that up. Yeah, that's a good one. But then he couldn't hold it, and even he started to laugh like, like this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So when you got your opponent like that, it's like, yeah, and the crowd definitely, they was there for it. So I'm kind of gonna leave it at the third round there as far as picking out bars. Shout out to like my guy, like a Showtime SP. You gotta head over to Vitafly's channel, with Showtime SP. If you want a full bar break, or even Champion with Jay Black and people like Mark, y'all go over there. If you want somebody to say, pick like 20 bars out of a round, I'm not doing that. I'm giving y'all general shit. I go into topics. I speak from a league owner's perspective. I don't think you're gonna come over here and get bar breakdowns. Okay. But overall, I think Rosenberg Raw got this battle. And that's not a bias. That's not, oh, you would say that. No, I really think that Rosenberg Raw got this battle. It felt like that watching it on stream. 2-1. I'm gonna give Mike P's material more respect than saying possible gentlemen's. For me to say a gentleman's, I would have to watch it again. But I definitely have at least a 2-1 clear. One thing that I did pick out of Rosenberg's rounds was it seemed like he was a little bit faster with his delivery. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if that was by choice. I don't know if he just was like, this is how I'm gonna go for Mike P right now. It's like he was just going much faster than I feel like his normal delivery is. Just on him, just on him, just on him, just boom, uh. You know what I mean? And that works for Rosenberg Raw, because out of my memory, that feels like the first time I seen him go through his material that fast. And when I say fast, I don't make sure y'all don't misinterpret fast for rush. He wasn't rushing. He was just delivering his shit faster. And he's just getting to his shit fast. And the Rosenberg Raw we've been seeing over the years obviously works for him. Last night, that sped up delivery, that works for him too. So I don't know. I'll speak to Raw and I'll try to get a little bit more insight on that. But that's kind of a first to my memory that I remember that. So overall, good battle. I think they closed out the night. Eazy at the end, he's closing off the stream. He's like, we got, he looks at us watch. We got y'all out of here 8:30. You know what I'm saying? We fought, it was 6 for 6 or whatever. That's becoming like a thing in battle rap now, because we all get criticized so much about how long these events are. And if we haven't gotten it right after 13, 14 years, is an obvious issue with the construction of how we deliver these events. That's not going to be able to change. You got a lot of moving pieces, getting 10 plus battlers to a venue, getting people to be on time, getting people fuck on time, getting people to be early, right? So that when it's the next battle, there's already the next two people ready there to go, get mic'd up right away. You know what I'm saying? You go to some of these bigger productions, and go to something like a boxing or UFC or whatever. The next act, the next set of fighters or whatever, they're gloved up in the back room. You know what I'm saying? Or if you're talking about performances, they're already mic'd up backstage somewhere. Those are bigger performances. That's like you hired 3 ruin your days and shit. You got one out here running the event. You got another one over here that's on standby for reacting. You got another one backstage working with the next act that's coming up, probably doing pre-mic checks and all types of shit. Battle rap is much smaller than that. You know what I'm saying? So bringing these people onto camera, then we got to get them mic'd up. Then we're doing coin flips and everything on camera. It's just the formula of battle rap, or the layout of battle rap. It would have to be at a way higher level for us to figure out how to condense streams. So I know we go anywhere from like 5 to 10 hours on average, but it's just the nature of our events, of battle rap events. At this level, the only way that we really get better at that is by giving you less battles. You know what I'm saying? Like our event last week, I feel like ended at like 10 p.m. at night. Like I don't remember the last time we've run that late, but it was 11 battles. And I do see the feedback that, we went through the card at a good pace. Like they didn't feel like they was waiting 10, 20, 30 minutes per battle, which is good. And there's still a lot of rushing around the court. There's footage of me on Hip Hop Is Real. I was watching Hip Hop Is Real. It was an A-Ward interview. And I was just watching it for A-Ward. And I see in the background, I walk past A-Ward and I'm walking to like through, I'm trying to head through a door to go like to a backstage area because I'm looking for, who am I looking for? I'm looking for Ill Will, I think. Right. I'm looking for somebody. And then somebody calls in the background, yo, hey, here he is right here. And then you see me turn around. I'm like, okay. Because I'm looking for battlers. I'm the league owner. I shouldn't have to look for nobody. Everybody should be in, like, if it was a bigger scenario, everybody would be like, sometimes it would be like mandatory that everybody has to be there at a certain time, and they all sit their ass in a fucking green room if it's a bigger situation. And for the people that don't get along, whatever, you start to see like Hollywood and all that, they got their own rooms. So you walk into this hallway and they all got their rooms with their names on the doors and shit. And if you need to find somebody, that's where you go. That's where they're obligated to be. You got footage of me running around a whole venue trying to find one of the battlers. There was a time where I went outside to a parking lot 2 blocks over to grab one of the battle rappers. You know what I'm saying? That's how this is. So behind the scenes, I know people would be like, damn, son, I was waiting here for 30 minutes, but ARP is running around the venue trying to find somebody. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just the nature of our business. And I don't know, it feels like the only way we can get better at it is it would have to be bigger, where we can contract these battlers and put them in a place and make certain things that is mandatory, where they're not outside doing interviews or hanging. Like that won't happen in big places. Like, you can't be, there's literally events that I've done where I gotta go outside and grab a battler off of an interview. We're very laid back with our media. We let our media post content. Let's be honest. I'm in topic mode. Even that hurts streams. But we fuck with our media a certain way and we trust them a certain way. But let's be honest. If hip hop is real and 15 Minutes of Fame is posting Glock 40 on your bitch ass Haymaker or Averb Showtime, that hurts the paper. That hurts the stream. You show, it's like ESPN. A lot of people don't watch the full game. A lot of people just watch the highlights and then they go somewhere else. Bloggers know that too. Bloggers will say, you know, for anybody that can't afford the stream, come over here and I got you on a recap. This hurts the sales. This hurts the league. It does. I'm sorry, it's true, Mo. Y'all, I'm telling you, I'm back on my shit. Back on my shit. All right. So the nature of our business is, for lack of better words, pretty shitty. And our ceilings are very, very, very low. So this is why our events don't run smooth, or behind the scenes, we take 10 hours where maybe it could have been condensed to 7. You know, we just do things to try to make it comfortable. So when you see a league that's trying to promote, we got a food truck for you. We got a bar for you. We got intermissions planned for you. We got commentary for you. You know what I mean? We're trying to make up for what we know is happening behind the scenes, which is the long amount of time that it takes to coordinate this shit. So when I'm in there and I'm fucking working for 10 hours straight, that shit ain't fucking easy, but it's what comes with it. So once again, that topic spins off of me seeing Eazy close out the stream like, we getting y'all out of here at 8:30. It's a topic in battle rap, right? It's a topic. It's a topic. And how many battles you go without any bad battles too. It's a topic now. We went 6 for 6. We went 11 for 11. We went 8 for 8. URL was doing that after the Nitty versus Ace battle. It's like, we 1 for 1. We're going to keep track. The second battle Diz came on. You didn't hear nobody talking about keeping track anymore. You didn't hear nobody. I'm only being honest, right? Did you watch it? All right. Let me see if there's any quick topics out over here. What am I missing? ARP, what's the diet? You up early? What's the workout schedule? Pause. Just trying to stay healthy. Go, yo, C Breezy 201. Appreciate the super chat. Go watch my stream from yesterday. Why is that a pause? I still can't interpret a pause there. You're asking another person, what's the diet? You up early? What's the workout schedule? Just trying to stay healthy. You're pausing that. Why? We got to stop this, people. Yesterday's blog, we're going too far. It's just a regular, mature question. Dude, you don't have to see Breezy. You don't have to pause that. Oh, we're going too far. We're losing our people. We're losing society. All right. My diet is, if I generalize it, I'd say I try to stay 80-20-ish, meaning that I do what I want 20% of the time, eat what I want 20% of the time. And the other 80%, I really try to stay a little bit more strict. These days, if you notice on camera, I definitely lost some weight. I'm the one that's standing on a scale. I probably took off about 13 pounds. I'm not as big as I was like 2 years ago. I'm very muscular. Like I'm one of those guys where he looks way different with his shirt off than he does, with a shirt on. My shirt come off, you be like, oh shit, like this nigga look like Bruce Lee. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, but um, in all honesty, though, I definitely took off a lot of weight because I've been avoiding sugar, which is deadly. I've been avoiding I've definitely cut down my carbs. I've been real tight with my fasting. And what's some other changes that I've done? I've gotten off of fucking Grubhub and Uber Eats. I was indulging way too much. Way, 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 way too much. Probably spending God knows how much money per week just out of convenience. And that's the thing about Uber Eats and fucking Grubhub. Even though you think you're ordering clean food, they don't cook clean. You don't know what's in something unless you cook it yourself. Those people cook for these restaurants. They cook for taste. They just want you to come back, right? So if there's a whole bunch of extra margarine and butter or sodium or sugar or whatever, they just want to taste good. I just need you back. You think you're just ordering a fucking salmon, but sometimes it's in how you prep it. That is game changing. If I prep, what I'm saying, a cut of salmon versus a restaurant that I order from, there could be a difference of 500, 600 calories in it. Could be a difference of 500 milligrams of sodium in it. Could be a difference of 20 grams of fucking sugar in it, based on how you prep versus how I prep. And that's one thing that's real dangerous as you get into what I was in, was a mode of like a year plus of just ordering food too much. Ordering food, it's definitely a waste of money, but it's ordering too much. You know what I'm saying? So you cut that out for about 4 months. That's a save right there. My cardio has stepped up. That's a save right there. Cut carbs. That's a save right there. Um, you get back into a stricter pattern of my fasting. So all of that equated to like the last 7 months of me taking off some good amount of fat. You know what I'm saying? Like I see it in my pictures. I see it on video. I see it in my face. You know what I mean? So my diet is pretty clean. I eat a lot of fish. I eat chicken, not too crazy. I eat way more fish than I do chicken, to be honest. Um, I ate a lot of vegetables. I cut down on my fruit because I'm cutting down on my sugar still, because sugar is like really one of the top killers, and I believe sources of cancer, different cancers over time, over long periods of time. I believe that sugar is one of the most dangerous substances in the world, and it's everywhere. It's in almost everything. And you got people that have a bad misconception that it's fruit, so it's okay. That is a horrible and a dangerous misconception. Fruit is the nature's candy. You know what I'm saying? Some fruit have less sugar content than others, right? But don't think that you're gonna sit there and eat an entire watermelon, and because it's fruit, you're okay. Fuck no, it's not how it goes. You have to avoid high fructose corn syrup by all means necessary. But fruit still has fructose. Just do the math on how like that raises your insulin levels, how your insulin levels tie into your health, tie into your fat retention or your calorie or your fat burning. Um, you have to do the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to turn this into a whole health blog, but over the years I've done a lot of trial and error. I've done a lot of learning, and I'm still evolving. My diet continues to evolve because your body also changes. You get older, your routine changes, your lifestyle changes. Maybe you get into a situation in life for like the last 10 years, you've been sitting down more than you've been walking around. You know what I mean? That's a big change, and your diet needs to complement that. Maybe you're getting older, so it's harder for you to burn calories. Maybe you're not as physical as you used to be. Maybe you can't jog the way. Maybe you got bad knees, and you can't jog or whatever. Like everybody's different. Maybe your stress levels is high, so your cortisol is up, and that's within itself is going to help you retain more fat because you got more responsibility. So you got kids now. It's deep. It's deep, man. So it's not just diet and gym routine. I will leave you with this though. Obviously I take this shit serious and I talk like this because I think it's good karma to spread knowledge amongst each other that can help each other be healthy. Um, I will tell you this though. A gym routine I've learned over the years is not even half as important as your diet when it comes to seeing your results in the mirror. Whatever results you're after, even if you're after just being some bulky, super muscular guy, or even if you're just trying to be a magazine fitness cover type of guy, just all shredded up. It's not the training that the training is essential, but it's the diet that is make or break. The three key elements is your training, your rest, and your diet. The most important one is your diet. The second most important one is your rest and how much sleep you're getting on a consistent basis. The third most important one actually is the training. That's the easy and the fun part. That's the easy and the fun part. I see a lot of people, they can get on camera right now. They could lift the whole world. I used to my peak was deadlifting 405 for 8 reps. That was my peak. That was my peak. Yet my back might look better now than it did when I was doing that. People will get in there, they'll lift the gym, they'll do bent over rows with fucking 315, they'll curl 135 with a barbell, they'll bench press 315 on an incline. All that shit is beautiful. It's all beautiful, but it depends what you're training for. Everybody goes through a segment of ego lifting. So did I. I used to lift only because the number on a dumbbell said 100 plus. That was important to me. It's a mental thing. You know what I'm saying? It's a mental thing. But all those people that could lift the gym, just ask them to take their shirts off. It's like you've been training for 5 years. You put videos up of you lifting the whole gym. Take your shirt off. Why do you still look like a marshmallow man? It's the reality. It's the reality. You got a lot of gym memberships, and I feel like less than 10% of them ever even see their six pack ever. You've been working out and you've been preaching health for 10 years, 5, 10 years. You still never seen a six pack. That's because the stomach is the ultimate teller of true consistency, true consistency, work ethic, and hard work. When it comes down to the real important variables, your stomach is the full tale. Not how big your chest is, how big your arms are. I know a lot of fat people with big arms. You know what I mean? So it gets deep, and I could do this shit for days. But my schedule is I'm a morning guy. I like to train on an empty stomach because when you're coming off of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours of sleep, you're in a fasted state. Their typical American diet and body is trained to wake up screaming for food because we're used to eating breakfast, right? So you wake up looking for that, and your body's in a state where you then can further enhance your fat burning because you're training in a fasted state. For some people, they feel weak because they haven't had their carbs or their energy drink or their coffee yet. You just got to take a couple weeks or a couple months to retrain your body to get used to training on an empty stomach. So I do all my shit typically in the morning. Not only does it fit my schedule, but there's benefits to it. There's enhanced benefits to it. So do the homework. That's my schedule. My diet is pretty good. My training these days, I lift. I still believe in weights, but I definitely incorporate a lot more body weight movements these days too. I see how well those work for me. I've been working out since I was like 18 years old, and I'm still evolving because your body changes, knowledge changes in the health industry, the food industry. Things change over times. Over the years, science has probably gone back and forth 20 different times on simple shit like, are eggs fucking healthy for you? You know what I'm saying? So, you got to continue to evolve your knowledge. You never can stop learning about training and dieting. It'll keto diet and all that shit. That shit wasn't happening in the 90s. So just continue to do the homework, research, and don't be scared of trial and error, and don't rush because no true trial and error for the human body is going to show you what you're really looking for in a week. You have to try things sometimes for months to really understand, like, this is good for me. So shout out to all my warriors out there, man. Get to it. What do we got? What do we got? Enjoy your time off. Well earned. Thank you. Somebody that's letting me take a fucking vacation. I got people like No Bars texting me last night. Yo, set up Big K versus Zoom P. Y'all gotta leave me the fuck alone, man. Shout out to No Bars and Hip Hop is real. ARP salute. Who did you have out of Hollow and Ness? I don't remember. To be honest. Appreciate the supers though, folks. Posh Love. Will you ever give us a documentary on you? What would that documentary be? Is it on RBE or do you mean personally? I don't think I would ever do a personal documentary. I don't think so. I don't know. I'm really not that type of person. Like you look at my Instagram, you kind of tell if you're clever enough. There's not really too much personal there about him. You know, where's his girlfriend? Where's his wife? Where's his bae? Um, um, kind of cars, what kind of houses, or I mean, I don't really do too much personally about myself. I mean, I had a shopping spree yesterday. It cost me $18,000. All right, and I don't even talk like that normally, but you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. I mean, so a documentary on me, I don't think so, unless it's like on me as a league owner. And I wouldn't try to do it myself. It's like if somebody approached me for it, like a platform or somebody that I thought was like would really manage it the right way and has good ideas about it and whatnot, and it would really come off well, maybe. But it would have to be around RBE. I'm just not interested in doing something on me personally. There is a documentary on our channel about RBE. And shout out to Rap Redux. Follow them on, I think on Instagram, RAP_REDUX. They gave us permission to upload the documentary that they did on us on the channel. Go watch it. It is it's crazy. As a matter of fact, let me show y'all something real quick. Let me show y'all something real quick. Let me show y'all something. Oh, I'm getting fast using this. Oh shit. Y'all in trouble now. That's what the documentary thumbnail looks like on our channel. Let me take this down real quick. All right. So go to our channel and check that out. That documentary is it's amazing. It gave me chills watching it because they did so much homework on us from the early era all the way to the new. It's just like it was an honor to see somebody do a documentary on us that we didn't coordinate with, we didn't speak to, we didn't ask them to do this. We didn't give them information. It's turned around and winged. And Lawrence was like, "Yo, did you see that documentary?" I was like, "What documentary?" And I watched it, and I was just like, "Yo, this is amazing." They're very accurate with a lot of the information, and the narration is great. Like he's talking to all the stuff that's happening, and he's going through the eras and the periods of RBE to even be a platform where you're to the point where somebody does a documentary on you. That means something. So go check that out. That's to me the only documentary that I think RBE needs, at least right now. Test tube. I live in Japan, so I can't come for the events. But I was wondering, what has RBE done to cultivate a crowd that appreciates the rappers? It seems other unnamed leagues are incapable of doing so. What's different? Shout out to all of our folks in Japan. We was talking earlier about how worldly RBE is. You know, we had somebody in here earlier from Africa tuned into the stream. We got folks from Japan tuned in. So shout out to my folks out there in Japan. Um, it's a formula. There's never one answer to things, which is what makes any platform, any battler, shit. Anytime you get into a lane of business or entrepreneurialism where there's competitors or other unique or other entities around you, um, if you don't have certain formulas, you will never end up being at the front. We didn't purposefully say we're at the front. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just over time, what we do and the formula and the way we go about things in this industry, we were pushed to the front. It comes with it. And like I said, it's not one answer. If it was one answer, then anybody would be RBE. Anybody would be able to do it. That's not so. There's not one answer. But when it comes to crowds, one thing that I've said consistently over the years is the vibe. And that also comes from people that attend RBE events. You'll see bloggers say that. You'll see media say that. You'll see fans say that. They'll say, like, I've been to events before, and there's just something about when I'm in the room at RBE. And it could be Believe Music Hall or it could be the Blue Room, small or big. Say it's something about the events where the vibe is just different. That's something that I feel is perpetuated from RBE because it's a psychology thing. It's a mental thing. You don't realize how much people gravitate and follow underneath a leader or a certain perception or energy that people cultivate. You know what I'm saying? Like you could never compare me with certain league owners because we act different, we talk different, we carry ourselves different. That within itself creates a certain energy. Like the battle is at RBE as well. They don't have a certain expectation of carry it like this, act like this. You know what I'm saying? You literally have people that will they'll get into certain bags because of the energy that's being cultivated above them or what they're being told to do. You'll act like this or say this about them or do that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a fact, like evidence and proof towards it. And it's obvious as well, right? But the energy at RBE is different. So people come there with a different attitude. It's just true. It's just true. Um, we've always been respectful to our fans as well. So I think that also comes back to us. I'm very, very customer friendly. I'm very front lines here, being transparent with y'all right now. You don't get that from all league owners. That's one of the things that made me unique very early on that people picked out. And they're like, that league owner is he's like a fan. He's right there. It never diminished me to a degree. It actually empowered me to be front line as RBE was sifting through this culture, but to be vocal, to bring light to things, to not let certain things go by unnoticed or without people knowing. That added a lot, you know what I'm saying, to our energy and to us also being understood by not just our fans, but the entire culture, right? Because you start to identify with things. And even if you don't identify or agree with certain things, sooner or later you start to see occurrences and you be like, either I understand or I agree because he's been talking about that for a while. You know what I'm saying? And so even that, it's like just setting certain energies are infectious to a crowd because I'm the face and I'm the leader of Rare Breed Entertainment. So a lot of that shit becomes infectious over time and people pick up on certain things. It's just like even in business, you do right by somebody, they just by nature want to do right by you. Right. I keep using the Charlie Clips and Jazz example. It's like that Jazz battles, but AR took care of me in that situation. He could have blocked that bag. You know what I mean? So when I end up over there a couple weeks after that, do the Rosenberg Raw battle, ARP, I got you. That's where it becomes a little bit more interpersonal. You know what I'm saying? And I know other leagues do things too. Other leagues pick up hospital bills and bail people out of jail. We all do. You know what I mean? But, it just is what it is. But I'm just saying it's part of the formula. Um, the room size at times, we literally just pulled off the biggest event ever in a small room. You know what I'm saying? That adds to it. That definitely adds to it, keeping things calm, keeping things controlled so that we get a good quality product. Um, Sometimes people have to do a big stage, and now people are calling out big stage. Blogs of people saying, fuck the big stage. Is the big stage over? I see Goods do a blog. Is the big stage over? I think Hip Hop is Real asked me on camera during my last interview, is the big stage done? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's becoming a topic now. Even if the climate is saying, you know what, we realized in 2023, ironically, Blue Room era, we want small rooms. I think we do want that. That seems to be part of what's happening as far as classic events and classic battles, right? And sometimes you'll see leagues then understand, like, okay, the climate is over here, so I'm going to do this. The climate is this, so I'm going to also do this because business wise, it makes sense to follow what the fans want because they're our paying customers. But sometimes you can't follow certain trends because you have a certain type of formula that you have to adhere to. For example, if I know all my events keep ending up shitty on a big stage, yet I keep doing them, possibly I need that door money right now or this year. And ironically, you hear about budget cuts. So sometimes the dots are out there and you just take somebody with a little bit of intelligence to fucking connect them. So shout out to Test Tube. What's wrong with me, man? But yeah, Lux versus Hitman. Thoughts? Very, very interesting style clash. And M Days 15. Appreciate the super. Very interesting style clash. They obviously have different weapons that they bring to the stage. I think Lux is more a performer than people give him credit for. Lux, y'all just see his like recent cipher and shit that had like K Shine on it or whatnot. Like Lux is way more of a performer than he gets credit for. But it's his lyrical ability and his rapping that obviously is his mantra of what people gravitate to the most for him. Hitman people gravitate to his performance, his energy, his aggression, his believability. His bars obviously are there. He continues to show that, but they kind of give that edge to a Lotus Lux. Of course, that's what the fans do. So for that, right off rip on paper, it makes it a style clash. Oh, it's not JC versus Chilla Jones, which are both known for their top attribute being their pens. So that kind of makes it a style clash, right? Well, what makes it compelling is the timing of it, um, and the magnitude of what they both represent in battle rap, right? The matchup itself is two god tiers. We don't get two god tiers battling each other very often. Actually, it's rare. You know what I mean? So the magnitude of that, it's like a Max Out one. Like we don't say Cassidy with a god tier title enough. Cassidy is a god tier. Well, people's definition of a god tier changes. Mine of a god tier is it's like your power rank, it's like your legacy, it's like your ability, it's like your draw, it's like your impact. Um, I think one of the most key ones that I just picked out though was like legacy, right? Because any god tier has a very, very stamped legacy that's above most of his peers. An arsenal, his legacy is just it's Mount Rushmore stamped. Averb, Loaded Lux, Murder Mook, Hitman Holla, Cassidy. The reason why Cassidy's legacy is so stamped is because even though we don't see him on RBE or URL or King of the Dot or Bullpen or Battle Academy or Trenches or Chrome 23 or you know what I'm saying? The man literally pioneered a lot of this shit. He really was. He brought a battle rap style into the industry. Some DVDs and whatnot that he was on, and his rapping ability, he kind of popularized punchline for a lot of battle rappers that are rapping today. He kind of popularized it. You know what I'm saying? He kind of started it in a lot of people's eyes. You know what I'm saying? It's like he's a god tier. He is. He is. It's not ironic that he does the viewership that he does, given his legacy. If Cassidy wasn't who he was, he wouldn't come in here and be doing million+ view battles off rip with despite not having a lot of on-camera modern day era battles. He wouldn't be coming in here being one of the top paid guys. He wouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? He makes more than almost everybody. So that's all because of his legacy. You know what I mean? So God tier on God tier just creates pandemonium. You announce Hitman versus Cassidy. It's pandemonium. Whether you like the matchup or not. Loaded Lux and Hitman does that as well, whether you like the matchup or not. But they have storyline. And Loaded Lux was in Spaces the other day. He co-signed the storyline. So what people like Hitman has been saying for like the last year plus or whatever, he wasn't lying. And I've at times been asked the question. I was honest about it too. I'm not gonna get on camera and lie to y'all. And Loaded Lux gets in space. He's like, yeah, I'm not sure why we declined the first. So he's co-signed it too. So we see that history, and then you got bars from Hitman like, I'm the only God tier without a God tier on his made it to being God tier without a God tier on his resume. That's a tough line because sometimes they say you gotta beat the champ to be the champ. You gotta go through the best team to be the best team. Shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So when Holla says something like that, it actually triggers thought. Like to be a God tier and you never face the God tier is kind of incredible. Because Mook and Lux, we want to differentiate those guys. Right? We want to see them battle. Right? We want to see Cassidy versus other goats. You know what I'm saying? We want to see Arsenal versus other goats. Right? Charlie Clips and all the, I mean, so that within itself is another thing that I think is interesting. And now you got these two guys kind of calling each other out. And it is a more compelling and a bigger matchup, of course, than like let's say Loaded Lux versus Rum Nitty or Loaded Lux versus Danny Myers. Loaded Lux versus Hitman is the biggest battle of all of them. Style wise, some people might say, give me Danny versus Loaded Lux. Right? That's cool. But impact wise, And legacy altering wise, like the Hitman and the Loaded Lux is the way more significant battle. And if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. There's a lot of battles that could have and would have and should have happened, and we may never see them. Will we ever see Daylight versus Loaded Lux? Who knows? We possibly lost Murder Mook versus Hollow the Dawn because of situations. Will it ever happen? Who knows? You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. There's a lot of matchups like that. So we'll see. Cal is dragging the goods battle because he says the win will mean more money for his next battle. For that battle without a clear win, it doesn't matter. Um, let's be honest. Sorry, it's true. Your bag isn't necessarily determined by a win or a loss. This is still business in here. Calico is right. It's about your draw, right? I know people that's undefeated can't make more than $500. Have no draw. You can't get over $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7,000, and that's still good money. So I don't want to come off wrong. You're getting paid $7,000 for a battle. That's great. There's legends that don't get that. There's legends that don't get $7,000 per battle. Like real talk. But it's your draw. It's your draw. Some might say that Hitman lost to Cassidy. I paid him double 2 months later to battle Calico. Why? Why? All right. It's draw. It's draw. Is a big part of it, because when it comes down to the actual do I want to see the matchup? Yes. Do I want to see the battle? Yes. Do I love this card construction? Yes. When it comes down to how much somebody is actually being paid to do it, that's your draw. That is your draw. If a league owner is negotiating with you and he's asking you to battle for free, probably doesn't think that you're gonna make him $1 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's common sense. So Calico is right. His performance versus goods makes everybody want to continue to see him, because this culture doesn't go on your legacy. They go on what you did last. What have you done for me lately? And they're saying Calico versus Goods was one of the actual battles of the night. They're saying it's one of the 3 to 4 classics of the night. It takes 2 people to have a battle or a classic of the night. Goods, I think that was one of his best performances ever. So whoever you got as the winner or the loser to that battle, both of those guys are in a position to negotiate a little bit more the next go around with any league owner, because that's what they get to come off of. I remember I was on the phone with Diz, and he's telling me, he's like, me having K versus Rex is dope because of the energy that K just came off of your stage with battling Murder Mook, right? So when you're able to keep moving your energy forward, your negotiations, when it comes down to the dollar behind the scenes, the negotiations will go a certain way. Calico gets to walk around with that now. I guess, well, hey, you see my goods battle, and it's gonna drop on YouTube for him. I could see other leagues that don't use YouTube to use the Calico and Goods YouTube drop. That would just be smart. Like, let's say URL, for example. If they're about to book Calico, right? And let's say they announce them like right after the Goods and Calico battle drops, that would be smart for them. Because now these guys do from 500,000 to 1 million views real quick, and people get to see how good Calico was. Right? It's really about the draw as far as money. So hope that makes sense to you. Appreciate the super. Geechee versus Big K in a blue room would be dope. Geechee in a blue room, period. We all know what K does in a blue room. Geechee in a blue room, period, would be dope. And that matchup is crazy. You ever thought about getting new rappers to battle like Montana 300 or Absol? Absolutely, I have. Versus Daylight, yeah, he did do that. Or Joey Bad. I never tried to speak to Joey Badass. I spoke to Joey Jihad a bunch of times, but then again, you don't categorize him as your question, really. Yeah, spoke to Royce a couple times. I've said many times that one of my dream battles, and people ask me like, "Oh, what's something you don't think that you're gonna put together, but would be dope?" I always say like Daylight versus Royce 5'9". Seeing Royce battle would be crazy. Shout out to Royce. I spoke to Joel Ortiz a bunch of times. At one point, I was interested in doing Joel Ortiz versus Goods. And me and Joel spoke about it. Me and Crooked Eye spoke about battles before. I spoke to everybody on Slaughterhouse about battling except for fucking Joe. All of them. Shout out to Joe. I spoke to all of them about battling. You know what I mean? what was up with Crook? Crook was kind of down for it. Matter of fact, I think he was in the middle of something, no. And then you ended up seeing his announcement versus Disaster. I don't know what happened there. But so Crook is obviously down to get a foot in now. Um, spoke with Lloyd Banks a couple times. Shout out to Banks. At the time when me and him was talking, he was in album mode, so the timing wasn't good. Shit, JR Ryder just hit me. You know what I'm saying? It might be time for JR. You never know. Shout out to my nigga Ryder, the writer of all writers. So nah, I got a long history of speaking and dealing with some of these guys and negotiating with them behind the scenes. Even 40 Cal. How do you think 40 Cal got here? You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know 40 Cal from Fight Club. A majority of his fans know him from the Diplomats. Let's be honest, right? So, yeah, why not? Of course, that's our history. My bad, read that one already. I never heard your thoughts on Sino Savvy battle that got interrupted by the over aggressive security. How can the battlers move in order to avoid messing up the stream like that altercation did? So I actually did speak about it. I don't know if Hip Hop Is Real put it out yet, or if they have the footage, or if I spoke about it on my stream. I think I did. So I absolutely did speak about it. But they didn't mess up the stream. There was a moment that messed up the battle. Well, it didn't mess up the battle, messed up the moment or that momentum of the battle. Right. And luckily it happened very, very early on. I don't co-sign it at all. But yes, what happened was it was a very, very aggressive battle. Zay can get very aggressive in his battles. Sino Savvy can get very aggressive in his battles, but that's between the battlers. You kind of have an understanding between battlers, like, yo, we're gonna shoulder bump, we're gonna pocket check, we're gonna push each other, nudge each other. It just is what it is. And both battlers are cool with it. It's like a give and take type of situation. But the security guard wasn't really feeling it because it felt like he was going too far. And at one time, I think the final one, he had his forearm up to kind of like try to block it a little bit. And Zay got pushed into his forearm a little bit. And at that point, he had enough because now it's got pushed into him. So he had enough. And then he came back and he pushed out like, yo, I told you that's it. You know, because earlier he kind of like was like, yo, chill out. But when it hit him, he was just like, that's too much. You know what I'm saying? So I think the placement of it, maybe they needed a little bit more room too. Everybody's on top of the battle. Security's trying to do his job of keeping down the aggressiveness because he looked to him, maybe it looks like maybe a fight might happen or maybe it's going too far. So he's also trying to protect the stream and protect the event. You got to give him credit for that. But at the same time, I also think that pushing into him, he was just like, but also, like I said, the battle is kind of cool with it. So if the battles are cool with it, then our security guards also have to be a little bit more mindful of that as well. So that's why I jumped in there, grabbed him, took him upstairs, let him get it out of his chest because that's how it is. You got a bear in a cage like that in the moment. The adrenaline is up. You know what I'm saying? So let him vent, let him get off his chest, let him get out of go mode. You know what I'm saying? Then we come back downstairs, we get right back to the event. And also pulling him off to the stream also enables now Zay and Sino to focus on each other because whether who's right or who's wrong, that disagreement, the people aren't there together anymore. So I feel like we handled it the right way. It's one of those occurrences, like the nature of battle rap is in the moment. We're not doing rehearsed songs. It's energy. It's aggressive. It's fighting. It's wordplay. It's disrespect. This is why I see a lot of battle rappers shake hands after because it feels like, yo, we just went through a fight. You know what I'm saying? The respect normally comes after because the vibe of it is like elevated, right? So I think we handled it the best way a situation like that could be handled. And shout out to our security guard as well. I think he understood the situation very well when we went upstairs as well. And shout out to Sino and Zay, staying professional and continuing to rap and just get right back into their shit the moment that situation got handled. So there goes me speaking on it again for anybody that might have missed it. Appreciate you, Maurice. When can we expect RBE Chrome joint venture? That would be very, very big. Chrome 23 can do like an anniversary card on their own. Max Out 3 can happen by RBE on our own. Imagine those two pairing. That's too much. That's too much. I'll be careful what you ask for. Can we get Spanish Harlem versus K Walker? Cool matchup. Shout out to both of those guys. Fuck with both of those guys. We had Spanish Harlem debut on RBE in like 2018. K Walker was probably, I think K Walker debuted on RBE in 2014. Go back and do the history. He might have debuted on RBE in 2014. And then the last time we got him on was last year for the Straight To It series when he battled Bones Brigante. So shout out to those two guys. I fuck with them. Do you ever think battle rap entourages on stage and their gas reactions to bars hurt the culture and the look of battles? Definitely doesn't hurt the look. That is the look of battle rap. The look of battle rap is the gritty nature of team versus team, and the faces and the reactions, and the grouping. When you got just two people standing in a room together, that energy and that element changes the perception of it. You know what I'm saying? Tay Rock versus Murder Mook is a classic battle. But when Mook says certain things to Tay Rock, just imagine if you could look in the background and see, like, you know, what's Tay Rock's friend saying when he called out his friend? Or what's Mook's friend saying when he says, yo, and your man, but you know what I'm saying? Like, that element not being there, that is really a great piece of this sport, how it's perceived. It's an aggressive back and forth. Yeah, I mean, it's just certain people just don't understand. And I swear, those are the ones that the smart people know how to leave them home. It's like, I remember back like K Shine versus Jay Mills. It was like some of the guys that were standing behind Jay Mills, it's like they really thought they was involved at times. It's just like, this ain't a fight. This is not a fight. It's not a physical fight. And it's like, chill out. And then you got people that they want to be involved. They want to be a part of the moment. It's just like, that's not your place. This ain't for you. You know what I mean? I had a I'll call it a conversation with one of the, from Max Out 3, one of the battlers Entourage when they came on the camera. And shout out to homie. He was real respectful, real cool. And you know, we even spoke after, you know what I'm saying? Good, seemed like a good dude. But in the moment of, you know, him coming up with the artist that was rapping, he's telling all the fans, yo, push back if you're not with Calico. And I finally caught on to it. I was just like, nah, it's not for Entourage, really. Like, the element's gonna be here. His entourage still gonna be behind him, but the paying customers are the priority. Like, maybe you don't understand how this works. Let me tell you how it works. The way it works is I pay Calico, not pay his entourage. I don't have any business with his entourage, even though Calico by contract is responsible for his entourage. But as far as pushing my paying customers back, that's not how this goes. If by nature, you know, let's say Calico's entourage is behind him, or Hitman's entourage is behind him, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's still dope. To see a sea of red hats standing behind Hitman, that's still dope. That's great footage. You know what I mean? And the team competition is still dope a little bit, the vibe, but it has to be controlled. It can't affect the battlers. When the other rapper is rapping, just shut the fuck up. If you want to cheer a little bit more, throw a little extra gas in, we're never going to be able to stop that unless we clear the stage. Do it when your fucking guy is rapping, and let the fans determine that. Like, I feel like this person is really just overhyping it, and it's ruining the battle, or it's gassing or whatever. But we do overuse the word gas. We do overuse it. Yeah, 70 St. Louis niggas standing behind Averb, Young Ill, and Hitman during their fucking battles. There's no gas to me, right? When you got a room that's kind of clearing out and going to their cars because the battle's over and we're still doing judging in the building for performing of the night, the Lewis still standing there because Hitman's still standing there, right? It's all on the stream. The footage is there. The very first person that they took out of the voting was B Magic, a St. Louis person, right? After that, they gave Ill Will and Averb damn near an even cut in the building. That's why we said we're gonna split it. And the whole Lewis standing right there next to me. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's real. That they can still respect Will and still respect Big K and still respect who else battled Lou niggas? Arsenal. You know what I'm saying? Still respect A Ward. It's just gotta be done a certain way. You know what I mean? We want the element, we want the vibe, but you gotta do it a certain way. And if you act out, if you can't control yourself, then you ain't I hate when people act like they ain't been somewhere before. or you can't be such a street nigga that you're using a battle to show your street side. Like, what? Yeah, we on that tonight. We here with my guy. Y'all must not really have been in no street shit together, because now you turning up in a rap battle. Like, we here to perform. Your man's getting paid to do a job. He's on the contract. And you turning up now? It kind of makes you look like a clown. Kind of makes it like you ain't been through shit. Now's your time to fucking get your rocks off. You ain't been go sit down, man. Go back home, man. Go back home. This ain't for you. And so it's like, it's a fine line of just the right people, the right entourage, etc. That's all. All right, y'all. I think I got to my last super. I appreciate y'all. What time is it? Oh, we've been here for a minute. Damn. Hour 50 minutes. Luckily, I don't got too much to do. I did most of my shit yesterday. But I appreciate y'all. I see Quitty jumped into the building. Shout out to Quitty. Big RBE shit. All right. Shout out to all the members in the building too. Make sure that y'all are on this right now. Make sure that y'all are on this right now. A classic battle has been released to the YouTube channel. Make sure y'all are tuned into that right now. This is a very replayable battle. It's not easy to pick a winner. I got people changing their fucking picks on my text messages. Let me know in the comments who took this classic battle. All right, we dropped this in less than a week for you on the YouTube channel, and the members got it a couple days early. If you're not a member to the channel, go to the fucking top of our channel, click the join button to become a member. You will get early access to all of our releases, and even certain early access to certain blogs that I do. Especially if I got, really address some shit, I'll give you early access. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't see the join button at the top and you're on Android, that's an Apple and YouTube thing. It takes a while for them to catch Android up. I mean, not Android up, Apple up with new channels that have memberships activated. So jump to a PC real quick or a browser, hit that join button, and you're all set to come back to your phone if you got an iPhone. But yeah, join the channel, y'all. Become a member. And the next release, of course, is Averb versus A Ward. Y'all will get early access to that as well. As a matter of fact, it's probably about time to put that on the channel right now for the early members. I'm pretty sure Ruin Yours is gonna have another sick full edit to that with new camera angles and intros and graphics and all that type of shit. So tune in. All right, I'm out of here, y'all. Shout out to all the members. Shout out to everybody. I don't know if I'll be back tomorrow or the day after, but yeah, I'm in sorry as true /vacay mode. So blogging fully activated. I got y'all.